I never like when a favorite show of mine is ending, but I have to say the ending for season 4 part 2 of You was phenomenal. I'm still processing it. It just blew my mind. Incredible plot twist, really amazing writing, and I just can't wait to share why I thought all that. I really like the approach that this season is taken with Joe's in London, but instead of stalking somebody, he's the one being stalked. You know, it's been a month since part 1 came out. We got introduced to all of his friends. They're all messed up in their own way, but it's perfect company for Joe because he's used to being around dysfunctional people. But there were a couple characters in there that just really caught my attention when it came to how they were written. I really like Kate. I thought Kate was a really great addition to this season. She's not as strong as the past love interest of Joe, but I will say that she definitely had a different kind of charm that I really liked. But there are also some characters this season that were just really poorly written, really weak, easily forgotten characters. Overall, I didn't feel like the characters in this season were strong at all versus the characters from the past 3 seasons. I still was following the storylines. I was still engaged enough, and I was just really hoping for a big twist to happen. I had a couple things that I wanted to see happen in Joe's life and in his mindset and him coming to grips with who he is. I was not let down at all. A couple things I was talking about in my review for part 1 kind of happened. I had a couple of questions that I got answered in part 2 that I had when I finished watching part 1. It definitely left me satisfied with the answers I got, but like the last couple episodes, amazing, absolutely amazing. Like, I can't go into much detail. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but let's just say we've seen Joe Goldberg for a long time, and he's been a creep, stalker. He's incredibly smart. His IQ is through the roof. But this last episode just brought it all to the surface, brought every issue that Joe's been having, all the issues that the other characters have been having. A huge finale episode, and I don't think there's going to be a season 5. Last I heard there wasn't, and honestly they don't need a season 5 because of how they wrapped up the show. The casting for Joe was amazing. Penn Badgley knocked it out of the park. I hope he wins a few awards for his performance because it is really, really, really good. This show just had a lot going for it. I will say though, one thing I was kind of disappointed about this season was, in my opinion, it was the weakest season out of all 3. I mainly just think it was because the characters. The storyline was still pretty good, but I preferred, honestly, when Joe was stalking somebody instead of him being stalked. I always preferred him kind of being on the offensive instead of the defensive side. So it kind of took me out a little bit that I'm like, oh, well, I was kind of hoping that he'd be stalking somebody. There was still a lot of stuff thrown in there that we got to see the old Joe, we got to see new improved Joe, like a whole bunch of aspects of his personality that all came out at the end for one final face-off, and I was just super happy. The show wrapped it up perfectly. So for season 4, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10 Mudflaps. And before you go, drop in the comments below, what is your favorite psychological thriller show? And as always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and I'll see you next time.